District Audit Special Called Meeting. This meeting is subject to the Kentucky Open Meetings Act. The agenda and meeting were made public by the APA on April 8th, 2026, via media advisory by Ella Morton. All members of the public agency attending via video teleconference must remain on camera at all times. It is the direction of the chair that the minutes of this meeting shall be taken and made available. I will get started by calling roll. I'm the Auditor of Public Accounts designee, Valerie Hamilton. Commissioner of Education designee, Marshall Smith. Marshall, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. Here.
It's okay. Office of Education Accountability designee, Sabrina Smith.
Here.
Office of the Attorney General designee, Stacy Woodrum. Office of the Governor designee, John Hicks. With 3 out of 5 present. Oh, there's Stacy, just joining us.
Good morning.
Hey, Stacy. I was just calling roll, so I'll
here.
Okay. All right, we've got 4 out of 5, so it is determined that a quorum is present. For guests, we have from the APA, Alex Evans, who is taking minutes, as well as holding a space at 209 St. Clair for anyone from the public who wishes to join, and Ella Morton, who is managing the live stream via YouTube, and also Miss Savannah Baker. I don't think there's anyone has any other. We will proceed to allow the committee members to introduce any guests in attendance.
Sure. We have from KDE, we have Jackie Chisholm joining us.
Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you.
All right, so now we will go ahead and move on to the items on the agenda. We will now cover the approval of the minutes for the March 19, 2026 meeting. The minutes were circulated to all the committee members prior to today's meeting. Does anyone have any suggested edits or additions to the minutes that were circulated? Okay. All right, seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve the March 19, 2026 meeting minutes?
Motion to approve.
May I get a second, please?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Right. Motion passes. Okay, so now we will move on to the remaining agenda items. Per the agenda, it didn't look like there was any old business, so we'll move on to the new business. I'll turn it over to Marshall to discuss our first item, which is the final draft audit contract requirements for fiscal year 2025 through 2026.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. I'll let you guys know when you can see it.
Okay, I can see it.
All right. We made our updates from this draft of the audit requirements from our last meeting. We highlighted those in yellow. I'll go through them. Give me just a second to find our first one. In our auditor alert section, we had this first bullet point that would point out that boards are the ones that are charged with passing budgets, and if a superintendent spends beyond that budget, that it should be looked at and probably a finding. And so we beefed that language up as we discussed with the statutory language, KRS 160.290, that designates that the board is the one that has general control over funds and property of the school district. So we added that language to it. And if anybody has any questions or want to discuss, just speak up as I go through them. The second yellow bullet point down here, at the back of this document, we have some information noting that the threshold for our federal audit of federal grants moved from $750,000 to $1 million in expenditures in a year. We brought that up to Audits Alert as we discussed in previous meeting. So that's the second yellow highlight. There's a couple other items in here I'll discuss. We added this sentence here highlighted in yellow that really reinforces that first bullet point. It's just saying, hey, if you identify expenditures that are exceeding an approved budget, it should be an audit finding. If it's a material amount, if it's an immaterial amount, it should be a management letter comment. We have a couple other items. Let me get to those real quick. We have this sentence here, as we discussed in our last meeting. We're just saying that, hey, if you as the auditor encounter any difficulties while doing this audit, even if it doesn't pertain to needing an extension, if you encounter difficulties, if you would let KDE know, that just lets us know if we have a district that's having issues with their financial record keeping. Right here, we added this under the district responsibilities. Just added a brief statement that part of the district responsibilities is being able to provide their accounting records in a timely manner so that the auditor can officially get through creating the audit report. And we have one more change that we saw when we got this. Right here, these two spots. As we discussed last meeting, we took the audit acceptance statement, which was a separate thing that a district would go in and provide information, rewrap that into the contract. We noticed that we had forgot to take out the reference of the old audit acceptance statement here. So we're deleting that paragraph here. And we're adding in that, hey, you must complete that new Appendix 1, which is the information that we used to get through that old audit acceptance statement information. And I think that was our last item. Let me scroll through here real quick just to make sure. Yes, I believe that was our last item. Yeah, I mean, unless anyone has any questions, is that we could vote to accept that or do them all together? I'm not sure how you would prefer to do, Valerie.
Yeah, I don't have any questions or anything, so I guess if nobody has any issues with the changes, we'll go ahead and have a motion to approve the final draft of the audit contract requirements for 2025 and 2026.
I just noted one thing on page 3, that very first paragraph that we highlighted. Should expenditure be plural and put an S after? Make it plural. Verify that expenditures remains, or should it be singular? Reading this correctly.
Yeah, it should be expenditures.
Yeah.
Okay, I can fix that then.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay. So do we have a motion to approve the final draft audit contract requirements for 2025 through 2026?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Could I get a second, please?
I'll make the second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the draft SCISA fiscal year 2026 independent auditor contract. So I'll again turn this back over to Marshall to discuss that.
All right, give me just a second to pull that one up. On this document, this is the previous document actually has the meat of the requirements. This one is very abbreviated, really is the signature part of it. You see that we've changed the dates here to update, going from last year to this year. And as that, this section here is red, but that's just to indicate the district should plug a date here. So it's not really a change. And yeah, the district would select themselves as well as the name of the firm they're going to contract with, and submit that to us. So no changes from our previous meeting.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or concerns with this document? Okay. So do we have a motion to approve the fiscal year 26 independent auditor contract?
I'll make the motion.
Could I get a second, please?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes on that as well. Okay, so the last item on the agenda are the letters to Boyd County and Allen and Associates. So Marshall, if you want to go over those as well.
Sure, absolutely. Let me get to those real quick. Sharing here a letter from the committee, well, actually from Valerie, to Boyd County, their superintendent. Boyd County is a district that we still don't have their 25 audit in, and that was mainly due to the fact that the finance officer had not been keeping their monthly reconciliations up to date. It's something they reached out to us in November and said they were going to need an extension because those reconciliations had not been done. And they were not done until a couple of weeks ago. I had a phone call with that finance officer. They indicated on the phone that they completed their reconciliations. And also their auditor confirmed that, yeah, they've been completed, but they had not looked at them yet. They're working on some other engagements and said that they not been able to put eyes on them as of yet. So this is a letter that were sent to them, just kind of indicating the importance of doing those reconciliations, acknowledging that are late on getting the audit in, and stressing the importance of doing those reconciliations, how important it is to make sure that your financial records are complete, and reiterating that's important so that when you provide reports to your board, that those reports are complete and accurate. So it has changed a little bit. When we wrote this letter, they had not completed their reconciliations as of yet. We're told that it's now completed, but I still think this letter should be sent as it is to reiterate those facts.
Hey, Marshall, did they say how far they have reconciled? Have they just reconciled till June 30th of 2025? Have they even started reconciling this year? Should we address and ask them to provide documentation to us as to when they will be reconciled up to date?
In the phone call, because I asked her that twice, and she said up to date, present date.
So they've reconciled all the way up to now. That's
what they've told me. Now, I've not put eyes on any of that material. Even if I had it, I wouldn't,
Right.
It'd be hard for me here to guarantee they're accurate, but that's what they've told me.
Okay. Then I'm fine with just sending it as it is.
Okay. Just for context, the auditor told us that they would be able to go back to Boyd County, I think on the 15th of this month. And we've got it noted just to call them to check in, right after they start, hey, is this what you need? Is it actually what you need? Because that is a little concern that they'll get there and find out that things aren't what they were expecting.
Right.
All right, if there's no other questions with the Boyd County, I'll go to our next one.
Yep, that's fine.
This is a letter that we drafted to Shad Allen and Associates for the fiscal year 25 audits. I think they engaged with 19 districts. I think our biggest, our firm with the most number of districts was Shad. We've had a lot of difficulty getting those audits into us. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jackie, but I think he still has 2 districts outstanding.
Yes, he's got Jenkins and Estill that are still outstanding. Yeah. Those are the only 2.
And how many late were there total?
I'll have to pull up that report. I believe at least 10 of them were late.
Yeah, 10 of us. Yeah. That sounds correct. About 10 of 19 were late. And as of right now, April 9th, we're still waiting on 2 districts.
So are we for sure they did 19 or 17? Because on the second page, it says they have been submitted for 5 of the 12 districts. I guess we need to edit this section and put in there like how many are still not in, how many were late of the total.
Hold on a little bit. I can tell you. I can pull up our spreadsheet.
I'm looking for the spreadsheet as well.
Yeah, I think I have it. Give me just a second. It's opening right now.
I'm sorry, I did just see an issue with the CC at the bottom. Marshall actually works for the Commissioner of Education on both of these, the other one and this one. I work for LRC. So we need to change. I'm the Legislative Research Commission, Office of Education Accountability.
It looks like 12 of his audits were requested for extensions. And of those 12, like I said, right now, 2 are not in still.
What's the total though? Did he have 17 or 19? Because I've heard 19 and 17 is on.
On the
spreadsheet. How many total audits did they do?
Should be able to see our spreadsheet that we submitted for the committee. This is our one from September.
Looks like 19.
And I'm 19.
Yeah. He had a total of 19 audits, and then 12 of those he had requested extensions for.
Okay.
With 2 outstanding still to this day.
So maybe we say 2 of the 12
are still outstanding.
Still outstanding.
Yeah.
And according to Mr. Allen, he is waiting on the finance officers to provide him some additional information so he could finalize them. That was as of yesterday.
Are they giving us any indication as to when these will be completed?
He's not Mr. Allen hasn't given me a firm date as when they will be completed. He just said as soon as he can review everything with the finance officers and receive all the information from them, he'll be able to finalize them, but I wasn't given a firm date.
And to be very blunt, it's a situation where we've seen when we talk to the districts, they seem to be waiting on the firm, and you talk to the firm, they indicate they're waiting on the districts.
Exactly.
So when we send this, should we ask for either an update of when it should be, that 2 should be completed, or like say that they need to be completed by a certain date?
Well, they're late, and so I think my recommendation would just be to acknowledge, hey, you're well beyond your contractual deadline, and leave it at that.
And not
Being right-
ask for a response at all?
I think for to be blunt again, we ask for those and then they don't meet it, and then what good was it? So that's why my thought was limited to say, hey, you're well beyond what you said you were going to do. Get this as soon as possible.
Do we actually say get it to us as soon as possible though? Like, I don't really read any of that into it. That's the reason I'm like, I don't read that anywhere.
I don't think it's explicitly say. I think it's more of an inference. Your deadline was back then.
I think that next to the last paragraph is the only thing, please note that your firm is in violation of the contract. I don't know. We need to elaborate more on that sentence.
My
Possibly the
hesitation.
sentence before, the paragraph before, because it says, as of the date of this letter, none of the required materials have been submitted for 5 of the 12. Further extensions are not available. And then, maybe add something there just to say, you please make every effort to have these turned in, as soon as possible, or give them an actual date, or could maybe add something there. I mean, I'm fine either way.
Sure. My
I'm
hesitation.
kind of hesitant on. Oh, sorry, Marshall.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm kind of hesitant to put a date because you've got the contract that had the date, and that would be almost like
Given another.
modifying the contract outside of the contract document.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That was my hesitation as well. I didn't want to infer an extension date.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm fine with that as long as we say either please submit as soon as possible, something to be like, you need to finish it.
Okay.
Like please make every effort. Like we
Mhm.
Okay. And then maybe change that to 2.
Yes, we got to change
2 of the 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think this letter was written before we actually received some.
Yeah, normally when we do these, and I guess we need in the future to remember, like, normally when we do these, we give the auditor's office the right to go ahead and send these instead of waiting 3 weeks for another meeting. So in the future, we may, if we have to do this again, unfortunately, like in the past, they've always like drafted it, immediately sent it to us, and then sent it out to where we didn't wait to approve it at the next meeting. We just went ahead and give approval to get it out as fast as possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
It does.
Can Marshall just make these edits as we're talking, and then we can just approve it, and then it can be sent today, if that's
Yeah, we can do that. We can make those edits today.
Okay.
That was the last item I had. If
Okay.
anybody has any other thoughts or questions.
Ready? Well, I will ask for a motion to approve the letters to Boyd County and Allen and Associate with discuss changes. And upon receiving that, the approval to send those over. Could I get a motion for that, please?
I'll make a motion.
Could I get a second, please?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, the motion passes. Again, per the agenda, there appear to be no miscellaneous items to discuss. Our next meeting date will be June 11th, 2026 at 9 o'clock at 209 St. Clair. If no one has anything else, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
Motion to
motion.
adjourn.
Could I get a second, please?
I'll second.
All in favor,
Y'all.
say aye.
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 All righty, meeting adjourned. Have a great day, everybody.
Y'all have a
Thank
great
you.
day and a
All
weekend.
right. Thank you all.
You
Thank you.
too.
too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.